with it, and we are
Some
ready to
Nigerians
go
are
extra.
questioning that statement.
Yeah, people are doing so because they have to question everything he says and everything he does. But the reality is, it's an open secret that we have corruption challenge. And it's an open secret that it's also a reality that if we don't address these problems and assure the international community, the investment community that you're addressing them, they may not take you seriously. So what the president did in Qatar was say, okay, if you have any challenge, I'm ready to take responsibility. I'm ready to deal with those problems. And if you remember when he went to Dubai the other time, he told them about bureaucracy. He said he was ready to break any pipe that will hinder them from doing business the way they want to do it. If you have your files gathering dust in any department, in any office, let me know. So we expect the president to create a small office within his kitchen cabinet that will deal with some of those constraints, that will deal with some of the complaints that will be coming from there. And I hope that's been done so that these people can act on his behalf, deal with any hindrance, any resistance decisively. The essence of getting foreign investment cannot be overemphasized. Absolutely. The purpose. We have a huge deficit in our infrastructure. And now we are beginning to see that we can use investment from the private sector, especially from abroad, to address some of these problems. We have agriculture, we have the land, we don't have the technology, we don't have the mechanized system, we have the people, the labor is cheap here. So what's stopping us from collaborating with the rest of the world to get everything we need? That's very important for us to kickstart the economy. And if you see what he has been able to achieve so far, is making the CBN to do the grant work, do a lot of work to ensure investment security of investment. And they also made that comment too in Qatar. You know, it said your investment, both your profits, both your principal, they are guaranteed. As at any time, you'll be free to take your investment out of the system. That's an assurance, that's a big incentive to whoever will come in to invest here. So the president has his work cut off. He's the chief salesman of the economy of the country itself. He's the chief marketing officer, and I think he's doing that job very well. What is left to be done now is for other stakeholders, especially the private sector and the subnationals. You must be able to get everybody on board.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Let's still stay on some of the things the president told the Emir of Qatar. He says, our greatest strength is our people. Our strength lies in the capacity of Nigerian youths. They have energy, talents, and self-belief. By these statements, what do you think the president was aiming to achieve?
Well, you see, we have the people, and we have the markets. We have the zeal, we have the energy. What we need to do is to harvest the energy, the positive energy of Nigerians, and transform it to national growth and prosperity. And we've not been able to do that very well or as effectively as we should have done in the last 20-something years of democracy. So what he's saying is this, very simple. There's abundance of talent in Nigeria. Let's come in, tap from it. Then there's abundance of labor. Labor is not so expensive. Labor is relatively cheap. Minimum wages probably far lower than what you have in other countries. If you still look at Nigerian professors are still earning $200, it may be a bad thing, but it's also an incentive for people who want to come and invest, tap from the huge resources we have in terms of human beings, and be able to transform that, join government to transform that to positive energy, boost productivity, create jobs, and all the stuff. So we have wonderful people. Nigerians are one of the most talented set of people in the world. Everywhere you go, all over the world, they are doing experts. In the field of medicine, you hardly go to any country without seeing Nigerians playing top roles. In the field of education, physics, virtually everywhere, Nigerians are there. Nigerians probably be the biggest pool of human capital you can find anywhere on the planet Earth. So what the president is telling them is that, yes, we have the people. Yes, we have the markets. Yes, we have the talent. Let's see what we can do with this. And this talent is affordable. I won't say it's cheap. It's affordable.
All right. So, I mean, on that trip, 7 landmark agreements were reached, talking about cooperation agreements in the field of education, relegation of employment of workers with the government of Qatar, establishment of a joint business council between the Qatar Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Nigerian Association of Chambers, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. In addition to the cooperation agreements in the field of youth and sport, what does this mean for Nigerians?
Well, you see, the major driver of this visit or this investment show is the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and NASIMA. They had a cooperation with their counterparts in Qatar, and they wanted to create a forum where they can handshake. And they had the president going with them. That's showing their counterparts, their business counterparts in Qatar, that we have the strongest man in Africa behind us. And we have the whole of the economy in Africa speaking here. Whenever you see the president of Nigeria, you know the weight that pulls. So they are going to collaborate in different areas: the economy, in education, in tourism, and youth development. Dubai is Qatar is a relatively small country, but you know the potentials they have. You know the huge resources in their sovereign wealth fund. They have a lot of money that they can use to help Nigeria to stabilize different sectors of the economy, and which is good for us. Education, Nigerian education sector is open for private sector investment, research, different forms of collaboration. Then you go into tourism. They are far ahead of Nigeria in terms of technical competence and efficiency. We have a lot of things to borrow from them, both in terms of knowledge and the capital inflow into our economy. But these are very good issues that was tabled. But like I said, one key thing which NASIMA should impress our government to do quickly is the house cleaning must be intense. The house cleaning we need to do in Nigeria must be rigorous. And we don't have time because the economy must not be allowed to slip off our hands. We must be able to make sure that we provide security. Without security, tourism and agriculture can't thrive. These are the areas where NASIMA, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and other critical stakeholders should sit down with government and realize that we make sure that they fine-tune the process. We do a lot of home cleaning. There's a lot of money in the Middle East. The Gulf Cooperation Council, for instance, has a lot of money in terms of investment, about $4 trillion all over the world. Nigeria can tap from this. $4 trillion is bigger than the GDP of some leading European countries. So Nigeria has a lot to gain from them. And interestingly, they're also looking beyond the Gulf region. They are looking at agriculture, for instance. You see that Saudi Arabia has been doing a lot in terms of agriculture in Central African Republic, trying to see where they can put the body so that they also have a bit of investment in Africa, a lot of investment, really. And you know, China is not as forthcoming as it used to be. There are issues around Chinese investment. So if you look at what they are doing, the best place to look for now is to look at the Gulf region. We have a lot of similarity in terms of our culture, compatibility in terms of religion. So we are good to go if you're able to annex this. And I think that's why the president has been eager to accompany them and been eager to do business or do handshake with anybody who is ready to bring genuine investment into Nigeria. So it's a big one. In the Gulf region, they have sovereign wealth fund. About 10 of them accumulated investment of over $4 trillion.
Absolutely.
So if you're able to tap from this, then we are good to go.
Please go ahead. Land.
Yeah, we have everything they need.
Right.
In terms
So, what do you think we also stand to gain from this MOU on combating illicit trade in narcotic drugs?
The earlier we get rid of narcotic drugs all over the world, it's a major challenge. The earlier we get rid of it, the better for us. So that collaboration will enable Nigeria, for instance, to make sure that they do their due diligence there. They don't allow any infiltration of drugs either from or where. So there's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot to gain from that. And, you know, people are looking at clean business all over the world. Clean business, clean approach, accessibility, trust. These are issues that we're taking care with this. So it's a good one that we have the handshake, we have the understanding that we can do this. The ports, everything will be clean, will be clear of all these illicit items. Then it builds a lot of confidence, it gives us a lot of courage, our counterparts a lot of courage to do business in Nigeria.
All right, so let's go back to November, where Nigeria and Saudi Arabia agreed to a deal to revive the country's non-functional refineries, with the revamp to be completed within a 2 year. That's the time frame. Help me speak to the economic import of this.
We have to fix our refineries. Presently, we have the Port Harcourt refinery, we have the Kaduna refinery, we have the Warri refinery, trying to get them revamped. we've not been able to achieve much. But in terms of Port Harcourt refining, reports have it that we've made a lot of progress. And before the end of the year, production will start fully. The same thing with Dangote Refinery. But you see, we need to create that capacity in such a way that we meet local demand, which Dangote and all of them can achieve now. And we also push a lot into exports. You know, we have the West African trade region. It's open to Nigeria to do a lot of business. So the idea is that the more we have in that sector, the more the merrier. So Saudi is planning also because they have technical competence, you know what Aramco and all of them can do, technical competence in oil refinery. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of investment. They can coming to Nigeria gives us a lot of advantage, which I think we should not toy with.
At the moment. Oh, all right. So the president continues to seek, make the country attractive to investors in the bid to revive the economy. As an economist, what do you think is the president's economic policy? I mean, to put this in proper perspective, what do you think is the president's economic policy? The president has a history of working with the private sector to achieve economic growth. It's not a new comma in that. He was governor in Lagos State, and what he did in Lagos State was extraordinary in terms of engaging the private sector to solve public problems. The waste management in Lagos, for instance, was a huge problem. He brought in the private sector, they were able to resolve it. This week, the private initiative in energy in Abia State has taken effect. Well, you know, before then, President Tinubu initiated a similar thing in Lagos with the Enro projects. If that had not been stalled by politics and lack of trust, mistrust at the federal level, by now Lagos would have gone beyond where Abia is celebrated today. So the president has a very rich history of getting the private sector involved in solving problems. So if you look at his philosophy, economic philosophy, you don't need to look too much. He's going to work towards free markets. He's going to enhance competitive tendencies within the economy, and he's going to open up the economy in such a way that everybody is willing to do genuine business, is willing to create value, will be welcomed, will be provided for, there will be incentives for people. So he's leaning clearly towards the free market enterprise, which is good. It's a bit of capitalism, but the key thing here is efficiency. Private sector investment, ensuring that there's efficiency within the economy. Right, but which of these trips or these agreements do you consider as the most beneficial, the most engaging and fruitful for the country? What I would say is a trip to the G20 was very, very good. It was like announcing to the whole world that there is a new Nigeria. And we'll be able to do business, reasonable business with that forum. If you're able to advertise and market yourself very well, strike the right deal, discuss business, then you are on a strong footing. I think of all his trips so far, that has been the most impressive and a very good advertisement for Nigeria. I would assume that more of such will come. They will be able to engage the rest of the world. Nigeria's problem, if you look at it very well, we need to reduce the emphasis on government providing key services within the economy. We need to look at our infrastructure. We need to look at key areas of services and find areas of engagement with the rest of the world. For instance, if you look at our budget, we barely have enough to build good roads and all that. You expect, of which the president is already doing, foreign direct investment into that sector. You expect in education will strengthen the private sector, which is already doing a lot in Nigeria. You see tourism, the potentials are there, we're barely scratching the surface. So virtually every sector of the economy needs help. So the rescue will come from within and from abroad. But unfortunately for us, we are a little bit incapacitated in terms of what our economy is doing. We need to create their environment, that enabling environment for foreigners to come, complement what we have. And one key area which the president is focusing on is to create foreign exchange stability. It's been a tough one, but gradually we are getting somewhere. By the time we are able to have foreign exchange stability, we are able to deal with the problem of insecurity, kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery, and all that, then the economy will grow. The target this year is that we'll have growth of about 3.4, thereabouts. We can achieve a lot more. And don't forget that the target is by 2030, we should have $10 trillion economy. That
a very tough one because the implication is that you'll be growing the economy by about 16% per annum. But we have a long way to go. We don't see ourselves achieving double digits growth in the economy in the next 4 or 5 years, but it's achievable. But we must put our house in order. We must be able to, everybody is interested in Nigeria. We have about 200 million people, and we have a lot of able-bodied men. If you wake up in Lagos early 4 a.m., some people are already doing one productive activity. That's the zeal and the energy you find in Nigeria. It's not common everywhere. So when people say Nigerians are lazy or dozy, you begin to wonder what kind of Nigerians they know or they are talking about. It all depends on the system enabling them to be productive, enabling them to be positively active. That energy we must be able to harvest the energy. We must be able to synchronize it and put them into proper usage and bring in technology, all this. In fintech, we see what Nigerians are doing. We are practically the best in the world. And if you go into entertainment too, we've seen that nobody beats Nigerians in that field too. So we have to continue to see how we can take advantage of this strong traits.
But as an economist, I want to talk to us about the significance of this trade agreement with Germany. That was a deal that calls for the West African nation to export liquid natural gas under one deal, that's the Riverside LNG of Nigeria, to supply 850,000 tons of liquefied natural gas to Germany each year. I think that will start in 2026.
Yes.
What's the significance of this?
Well, you know, the Ukraine crisis has taught Europe a lesson that they can't rely too much on their axis, especially Russia, for supply of their liquefied gas. And so the Chancellor of Germany did well to look at which area can supply as much as they need. So they are looking at if what has happened in Russia has taught them a lesson. So they are beginning to look towards Nigeria, and it's good that the president embraced Germany. That is telling Germany, see, you can do everything you need. So Nigeria is set to make a lot of revenue, even bigger than the revenue from oil, if you're able to pursue this agreement to a logical conclusion. Gas has the potential to give Nigerian foreign exchange earnings as much as oil or even more. So the focus for the next generation is on clean energy, which gas is more of it than oil. So the president is on the right path, and that agreement we hope will eventually be, every detail will be faithfully or diligently executed.
All right, thank you so much. Now, before I let you go, before I let you go, what, in your opinion, do you think the president should focus on in mitigating the economic hardship out there?
Well, you see, we're having a reform. We're having a set of reforms. And when you have reforms, they come with a lot of pressure. I don't want to call it hardship. What the president should do for Nigeria is to make sure that proceeds of these reforms are not spirited into private accounts. That's very key. What we have is similar to what Babangida did with SAP. But unfortunately, as the proceeds were coming in, they were using it to buy mansions for the leaders, hosting African unity, buying all kinds of cars. We must, at this point, if the president will help the masses, you must get the governors, the subnationals to buy into an understanding that every kobo from these reforms will be used to develop Nigeria, be used to develop Nigerians. If you waste the reforms, we'll be worse off than period before. If you waste the proceeds from these reforms, that may be like Nigeria's last chance to rebuild itself or to rebuild our economy. We must not let politicians, we must not let governors, we must not let ministers siphon the proceeds of these reforms. These reforms should lead to greater quality in our services, more efficiency in our services, better infrastructure. You know, money moves about in cycles. If there are leakages within the economy, within that circular flow of income, then you've wasted it. Reduce red taking within the economy. Reduce it to the barest minimum. Reduce people living large on government. You know, it's like every kobo comes to service offices, not to provide services. Government must look at that. You can't live large on people's sweat. You know, this money is invariably coming from our pockets. Absolutely. If you're spending 120,000 naira on a car before now, you'll be spending probably 240,000 just an So people are paying a lot. Government must make sure that this money is not used to make those in government look better, but to make government itself look better and to make the people look better. So that's critical.
Very instructive. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you.
evening. I've been speaking with Kayode Edeji, an economist that can help to focus on the president's foreign investment push and the gains bearing for Nigeria and Nigerians. Thank you so much for joining us once
Thank you
again.
very much.
And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Goodbye.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Today, there are many complex, boring, expensive, and useless exercise machines in the market. Or you pay over 400,000 naira a year for gym membership and never go. ShopX TV is proud to introduce Total Crunch Evolution, the compact, versatile fitness solution that is perfect for you. With Total Crunch, you get a complete fitness workout in one machine. Say goodbye to ineffective and complicated exercise machines. Now, you have the power to transform your fitness journey and get the body you have always wanted right in the comfort of your own home. Total Crunch is the efficient and effective way to build muscle, tone and tighten your legs, shape your back and pectorals, while strengthening your core and defining your abs. Now that's totally effective to get the body you want. With Total Crunch, your whole body works out at the same time. Only Total Crunch can put your whole body in motion as you burn calories and lose weight. Just one fitness routine a week will achieve serious results in 4 weeks.
Total Crunch Evolution has enhanced the way I work out and the results I achieve. It's not just a fitness equipment, it's a life changer. This versatile, time-saving machine is perfect for anyone looking to lose weight or stay in shape. Trust me, this is the game changer you've been waiting for.
With my busy schedule, finding time to work out and stay in shape has always been a challenge until I discovered the Total Crunch Evolution. It's a lifesaver.
Traditional exercise equipment is large, complex, takes up so much space in your home, and you could be paying up to 400,000 naira for annual gym fees. Get the Total Crunch Evolution, the 2-in-1 fitness solution to save the cost and transform your body from the convenience of your home. Similar equipment costs 300,000 naira, but you can get the Total Crunch Evolution for not 300,000 naira, not even 200,000 naira. Order right now and get your Total Crunch Evolution for just 179,950 naira only. And that's not all. You can get our Total Crunch Evolution in 2 easy payments of 89,975 naira. That's right. Pay twice to get your Total Crunch. And remember, if you order now, you get the Total Crunch Evolution delivered to you for free anywhere you are in Nigeria. And it comes with a ShopX 30-day money-back guarantee. Call the number on your screen now or scan the code to place your order now. But hurry, limited stock available. The proceeding is a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
In the world of sustainability, circular economy is all about using materials and products for as long as possible by reusing, repairing and recycling them. This reduces waste and creates value by keeping the materials in use instead of throwing them away. Well, this will be our major focus in this week's edition of Green Angle. Welcome. I am Esther Mapayola. And before we begin, let's bring you updates from the world of environment.
It was a gathering of public officials, intellectuals, civil society, local and international stakeholders to bridge the gap between government policies and market opportunities.
See here, plastic, an opportunity of 350 million.
This session aims to highlight the challenges hindering the progress in the circular economy sector, seeking innovative strategies to unlock its potential and create new opportunities for job seekers across the state.
We feel, and very strongly so, that the ton of waste that we generate, and our lifestyle gives us room to be able to not only calculate but also precipitate, the options that are available for waste resources to be turned into use, both on a local and on a global space.